And we're live! Yay! Hopefully everybody can hear us. If someone can talk from Zoom.
Yeah,
Testing,
I
testing.
All right.
Yeah!
Testing. How are we?
We are live.
Excellent.
And we can be heard. Thanks, Russ.
Yay!
Yeah!
Alright. Welcome everyone to our first episode of Kahaaniyaan, a Sarzameen campaign. Before we get into the game itself, I am your guide, Mariam. We are playing this game in Quest RPG. And let's quickly go around the table and introduce our players. We'll get to introducing our characters as we finish the round table of player introductions. So let's just go around my screen as it is on the stream. So let's start with Morgan.
As I get the hiccups, thank you. Hi, I'm Morgan. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. I don't know what else you want from me, but hi, I'm very excited for this game.
Where can we find you?
Oh, yeah, you want that stuff. Okay, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serena Bezos. Be my friend. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And you are playing who? You don't, just the name.
Oh, I thought we were doing that later. Okay.
Well, we're going into the details later. We're just like...
Oh, I suppose. I'm playing Tulsi. They, them pronouns.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll get it right.
First time, first go. We're fine.
Yeah. Anino.
Hi everyone, my name is Anino. I can be found on Twitter at Anino Gaming. And for this campaign, I am playing Nibir, who also uses he, him pronouns.
Awesome. And then Connie.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter at @byConnieChang. And in this campaign, I'll be playing a lovely lady by the name of Jansali.
Awesome. And last but not least.
Hello, I am Basheer Gauss, he, him pronouns. You can find me at Twitter at Basheer Gauss and at havocfet.itch.io. I am going to be playing Rahim, pronouns he, him, who is a very large lizard, and we'll get more into that later.
Awesome. So let us start with a couple of flashbacks. That way we get to see a little bit about each character, as well as get a little bit about their personal, physical appearances and characters and stuff like that. Let's go sort of backwards and around. So we shall start with Rahim.
Excellent.
So tell us a little bit about your character.
All right, Rahim is a 7-foot-tall lizard, lizard person, generally found in a green shalwani. He has a long whip-like tail with silver rings as jewelry around it, and he has white and black kind of monochrome speckled scales up and down his body. He is reminiscent of a humanoid Asian water monitor. So this kind of long, relatively thin body plan, large jaws. And he is a wandering investigator. He goes places that need mysteries or crimes or whatever solved and mediated, and he does that.
Yeah. Speaking of investigations and crime solving and all of those things, you have been investigating a particular mystery involving a missing heirloom. You have spent about say about a week in this particular small little hamlet in the middle of nowhere, investigating. Do you want to describe a couple of methods you may have taken to figure out where this heirloom is?
All right, I have probably been asking around, trying to figure out who the heirloom was, what's its history. Is there anyone with a particular motivation to try and get this away from where it was? Was it just lost for a while and then someone panicked and called me? Because that happens more than people would prefer to admit. And kind of getting integrated into this town and its drama and going-ons to figure out what's going on. And then from there, he would start talking to people, figuring out where it might have been seen, likely suspects, and tracing it down its path.
Yeah, so as you were investigating, and you found out that it was not lost, it was definitely taken, for sure, and that there's sort of this superstition amongst this family who had asked you to be discreet that whoever has possession of this gem is considered the rightful heir to lead the family forward. And it is the current heir apparent that had asked you to find this. And eventually, through your investigation, a note was found which basically said, like, it was a bit of a gloat, essentially, saying that, haha, I have the gem and you shall never find it. I challenge you to find it. But you even if it's right under your nose, you will not find it, sort of a note. And over the process, about a week or so, it unfortunately did slip your grasps. However, your last lead, before we move on, was that it is in the city of Takhtabad.
Mm-hmm. All right. So heading to I guess that's why I'm heading to Takhtabad then.
Yeah, and you know that in the city, which I will describe in a moment after we've done all our introductions, that it has fallen into possession of a particular collector, notorious for finding, like, hidden gems and heirlooms. You don't think he's the one who's taken it. Probably had been sold off to that person. Like, your leads and everything have led you there. So with that, we'll actually move on to Dicey Amazons, thanks for the following. Thanks Anino for following. I might not be staring at the screen all the time, so for all the people who have followed so far and I have not said a thank you on air, first of all, thank you. And people in chat, whenever people follow, give them a shout out. Okay, yes. I'm easily distracted. We will now go to Jansali.
Great.
Yeah. So, describe your character's physical appearance, please.
Sounds good. Jansali Tahid is, first of all, 37, but she looks older because she has the appearance of someone who's perpetually under a lot of stress. She stands at a brisk 5 feet 7 inches tall, but often feels a lot more imposing due to her very remote smile, sort of like a droll sense of humor is the vibe we get off of her when you first meet her. She has been known as rather imposing despite her short stature. In terms of her clothes, she wears sleeveless white robes and linen wraps that go all the way up to her elbow. And when she moves with a very straight-backed pace, with robust purpose. She has skin, obviously, that's brown, and she has thick, curly black hair that is usually trimmed very neatly.
Okay. So, you... Oh, yeah, one thing that I should have mentioned is you all come from different communities, and very quickly, Rahim, which community do you come from? You're muted.
1 moment. I inexplicably did not write that down. 1 second.
All right, we will retroactively figure that out. Never mind. Continue. All right. So with Jansali, I believe you are from Banga.
Yes, she is from an up-and-coming city in Banga.
Okay, so in that city in Banga, you see on sort of almost the outskirts of town, Jansali digging. You're maybe about 2 or 3 feet already deep. What are you digging?
I am digging a grave.
And how are you feeling as you were digging this grave?
Jansali, I'm not really used to hard physical labor, so my hands are blistered. And you see my sort of linen cloth wraps are discarded to the side, and you can see that they have been concealing what appears to be charred skin all the way up to my elbows. And as I'm digging, like, sweat is like rolling down my forehead. For once, I look rather unkempt and soil spotted. And I just have this like look of like grim determination on my face. And occasionally I'll like wipe sweat off my brow, but I don't allow myself to linger on whatever horrific grieving feelings are roiling around inside me. I just keep digging.
And you dig for several hours. And then the next day, the day of the funeral, as you are performing funerary rites, there is several villagers all sort of standing a very conspicuous, almost 10 or 15 feet behind you, whispering to themselves, mostly murmurs of, "Oh, how could this happen? This is not right. This is not how it's done. This is all cursed. This is too much. This is not right. Should be returned through fire, not through the earth." And you hear all of this. What are you doing? And how are you reacting to this?
I assume I'm sort of by the freshly dug grave, and I'm like performing like last rites, maybe like crouched over it, praying. And I hear the whispers, and I probably try to ignore them. But if they continue, I'll have some sharp words I would like to trade.
Yeah, they do continue. If you do have some sharp words.
I sort of, when it's clear the whispering isn't going to stop, I sort of go, and I stand up slowly to my full 5 feet 7 inches, and I turn around, sort of like I just sort of turn my cheek, and I sort of say like over my shoulder, if you have anything you'd like to say it to my face.
And initially, there's like silence as people are debating whether to say something. And then this woman, about like late teens, early 20s, walks up to you, rage and grief on her face, and she says, "Okay, if you really want to hear it, if you didn't desecrate her the way you did, none of this would have happened." And she just slaps you. And it's
Do
not
I know who this person is?
Yeah, it is a loved one.
Okay.
Of the person who had passed away. And
Understood.
the slap that is given is not really much, like, it's not meant to hurt, it's meant to humiliate. It's kind of like a bitch slap.
Yeah, sure.
And
Wow.
she's about to sort of grab you by the scruff, like she's not quite done, but thinks better of it, and just stops and starts sobbing. How do you react to that?
I think Jansali probably kind of saw the slap coming, so she just sort of like takes it, like stonily. And when this woman, this 19, maybe 20-something-year-old girl starts breaking down, something of the stony facade trembles, and Jansali starts to hold out like a hand as if to comfort her, but at the last moment her fingers curl away into like a really tight fist, and she like digs her nails into her palm. She slowly lowers it and says, If you don't have kind words to say, just leave.
No, you should leave. You're the unnatural thing here.
Unnatural? The only unnatural thing here is this illness that took her, and excuse me for trying to save her. I wasn't just gonna stand by and let her die like the rest of you.
And at this point, an old hand that you recognize, you're one of the elders, sort of rests on your shoulder and says, "Child, now is not the time."
I think at this, like, red hot, just like grief, but more overwhelmingly shame flushes through Jansali. I think she's like looking around, and I'm assuming that no one's really on her side here.
Except for the one hand who sort of like, now is not the time. And you this hand is essentially your mentor in this village. Probably the only one currently not looking at you with outright either rage or grief or a strong negative emotion of any kind.
Okay. I sort of I shake their hand off, and I say, "Fine. Cowards. All of you. Cowards." And I turn on my heel, and I stride away. And as soon as I can bear it, and as soon as I think they can't see me anymore, I break down in tears.
And with that, a few days pass. No one's come to comfort you or even check on you, except for your mentor.
Yikes.
And your mentor has a letter in their hand and says, "My child, I know you mean well. But perhaps it is best for everyone, and even for you too, my child, to continue your learning elsewhere. I have a friend in Takhtabad who is starting up a new healing center and is looking for young talent like you. Here, and hands you a letter which has the details of where it is, what they're looking for, and essentially asking another sort of mentee of your mentor.
Okay. I probably answer the door if we're like at Jansali's house or something, and I look like real fucked up. I look like I haven't slept in days. Like my eyes are crusty and puffy. This is like probably the most disheveled I've ever looked in like a long time, since I came out of the womb. And I take this letter and I just sort of look at my mentor and I say, the others I expected. For you to kick me to the curb, too.
It pains me to send you away, child, but I can't teach you anymore.
I understand. No hard feelings here. I mean, I'm just the village freak, right? Thank you. I'm sorry I said that. I'm not myself right now.
They give a very kind of weak smile and say, I sense much grief and rage in you. Perhaps a new place will give you time to heal.
Thank you. I'll try to remember those words. And I close the door, probably.
Yep. And with that, we move on to Nibir. Nibir, please describe your character.
So Nibir is human. He stands about 6'1", and he's around 29 years old. He's got a very big and broad frame. It is described in the quest system as a quote-unquote rack of muscles. And he had just recently shaved all of his hair off. His expression is... let me see if I can fix that. And his expression is eternal disinterest, I guess. Outfit-wise, he wears a red and white dhoti kurta and a matching gamosa, and he moves with a very athletic stride. Hails from easternmost Pahari, from a village that's built around several tea plantations. And
So it's a Darist. Yeah. It's a Darist village of sorts.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. So I believe this is your last day here, as you were planning on leaving.
That's right.
Does your family know you're leaving?
One person might know. But he is definitely stealing away in the very, very early morning, let's say.
Okay. So, have you left any sort of note or letter saying you are leaving?
Yes, he left a note for his now ex-fiancée, wishing her well in her future endeavors, as well as a note for his brother, who will now have to assume Nibir's responsibilities in running the family tea plantation.
Okay. As you steal away, you think you've gotten away mostly unseen, but you hear a cough behind you, and you recognize the person behind the cough. My
It's his
son?
mother, isn't it?
Yep, my son? Where are you sneaking away to at this early hour?
Oh, maybe a jog around the village?
There is a silence, and you recognize that silence as "don't lie to me, child" sort of a silence. And if you turn around, her look also is exactly the same as her silence of "I know what you're up to."
So Nibir will turn around slowly, but he's very determined. He had been thinking about this for a very long time now, and he decided that he would try to at least depart quickly and with as much dignity as he could muster under her wilting gaze.
You notice she's got a small little bundle.
So we've talked about this
Mm-hmm.
a number of times, and given it much thought, there's just no place for me here. I can't see myself spending the next 50 years on this same land, raising the tea the same way that people have done it for centuries before me.
Her eyes look a little sad. There's no tears in them, just weariness. And she says, "I understand. I've packed a couple of things for your jog in case you get hungry."
He will bow slightly. That would be most appreciated. It's, I always get really hungry after working out.
Well, if you jog too far, you know you're always welcome home, no matter how long you jog for.
Perhaps here. I guess it really depends on how everyone else reacts to it.
You promise you'll write to me. Let
Of
me
course.
know how your jogging is going along.
I will.
I love you, my son.
I love you too. The caravan is heading out, and has head out already, and I need to catch up to them.
Of course. And she sort of puts her hands on your head and does the sign to ward away evil.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
As you head to the caravan, you see your friend, a trader from the Western Bahari region, who basically does regular milk runs of like all the different places, trading, like basically making a trip here at least once every 6 or 7 months, and says, "Are you sure you want to do this, my child?"
I think I do. How can anyone be a tea master if they don't drink tea from outside of their own village?
Well, that's what traders are for.
Yes, but do you see the look that my brother and teacher would give me if I even mentioned that I wanted to try something other than Bahari tea?
You are talking about tea, right?
What else would I be talking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about partners.
But no.
I don't know. There's people always talk about food when they actually mean love, and then love when they mean food. It's all very confusing.
I feel like you're ruining a moment here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, here. You ride in front for now.
Will do.
And with that, you know that this caravan will go up to Takhtabad, which you know is sort of a trading hub for where most of the regions and provinces all meet in the middle, essentially.
Excellent.
And you had an invitation from another mentor that said, if you want to learn the trade, well, Takhtabad's the place, and you'll get to meet and deal with lots of teas from lots of places.
Living the dream.
Yep. Especially since their trading post is in a very famous market called Heera Bazaar, which is where you will be for the next few months.
Fabulous.
And with that, we go to our last but not least character, Tulsi. Tulsi, describe your character.
Okay, so I'm playing Tulsi. They are 20 years old and stand about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Oh, I must have missed it. Are we giving out our party status or role or class, whatever it's called?
I guess you could if you, I hadn't really asked that, although that would be a good idea, but maybe we can, once we're done with yours, we'll go around the table once more.
Yeah.
We're kind of playing a little loosey-goosey with roles, which is the quest system's, I guess, way of saying class in another RPG system. But we are playing a little loosey-goosey with some of that, which is why I didn't get into roles much, but say as much as little as you want.
Okay. Well, they're a naturalist, which we'll explain more later. They have they're short, but they're also very willowy. They have this like bright, radiant smile, and overall have a gentle disposition. Typically, they wear like a light blue kurta. They have like a homemade charm that's around their neck, and they tend to move with an effortless glide. They're from a remote village in Hiradaya. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hridaya.
Hridaya, thank you. Where they are known for their unhurried sense of time and tropical fruit dishes, specifically mangoes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love these mangoes.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
What? Oh, I had mango yogurt the other day. It was so good.
I made a mixture of mango juice and Sprite.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Anywho, sorry.
Hey,
Distracted.
Continue. Is there any way you can bump up your audio just a little bit?
My audio, I think, is all the way maxed.
Okay, let me see if I can boost it just a wee bit. Whoops! I did not mean to do that.
What did you do?
Sorry, I transitioned to the we'll begin soon page, which I did not mean to do. Oh well.
I see that. One moment, please.
I put it back, so that should be fine. Sorry. You know, it isn't a first stream without a couple of tech
it's a learning curve
hiccups.
all the way through, so whatevs. It's
okay.
Wild technical issues are part of the appeal.
Yes.
Yeah. Come for the story, stay for the technical issues, right? That's not it. That's not the saying.
No.
Let's not make that a
But
saying.
it should be.
No. Okay, so coming back to your character.
Yes.
What were we saying about your character?
That they're from. They grow around mangoes.
Yes, they grow around mangoes.
Yes, they're near the jungles of Hidayah.
Yeah, Hridaya.
Hidayah. Yeah.
And let's start off with you. You are currently in the deep forest searching for something. What are you searching?
I am searching for this rare known flower that is known with the healers in town to be a remedy for an illness that struck.
Yeah, like a sort of a fever of some kind.
Yeah.
And when you entered the jungle, it wasn't raining as hard, and to a certain extent the canopy of this lush jungle kind of shielded you for like maybe the first couple of hours, but as you go further and further in, even the canopy does not give enough shelter to this rainpour that is happening. It's not unusual that it's raining though, as it is during the monsoon season where you are at the moment.
Yeah.
But after hours and hours of searching, you're not even sure how long you've been searching. It is now, like, water is coming up to almost your knees at this point. What do you do?
Oh, I guess.
You're not even sure what time of day it is. It's so dark. It could be morning.
As long as it's not nighttime, we're okay. But who knows either.
It's hard to tell. Like you can't even tell whether it's deepest of nights or like noon. It's so dark. It's so water is just pouring. You are soaked. You are slightly chilled to the bone. It's not. It is still quite warm weather, but being like your clothes, you'll have to peel it off.
Yeah, I think they're just going to find a good sturdy tree and just climb up it, because there's not anywhere else to really hide from the rain right now.
And as you climb up, you see a small little monkey sort of staring at you, big eyes.
Oh, a friend. Tulsi's gonna see them and just slowly start to go for a food pouch, like a little They brought some snacks because they knew they're gonna be out here for a bit, but so they go for let's say they packed a mango.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna slowly, just not to startle them, slowly go for their food pouch, pull out the mango, and then like try to slowly offer it to the monkey.
The monkey eagerly takes it and starts squishing it and just
Oh.
like turning it into pulp and then bites into it, and you hear a sucking noise as it's basically just enjoying the mango juice essentially at this point.
I mean, that's one way to get it.
And just looks at you and like, this is the type of monkey that's kind of tiny. Eyeballs are bigger than the rest of its body. And then scampers off.
Mhm.
About
Aw.
10 minutes later, comes up with a little flower as like a thank you present.
Aw. I'm gonna slowly, just gently, just so I don't, scare, take it from them, and then just put it into my braid, because Tulsi has like a long dark brown braid.
As you're about to put it on your braid, you realize this is the flower that you've been looking for.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to squeak, obviously, as I just did, because this is an actual play that I should be actually acting things out. And sitting there, oh no, I don't even know if I'm, and they're just talking to the monkey like they understand. Like, I don't even know if I'd be able to make it back to the village right now during all this.
And the monkey kind of tilts its head like this, like sort of listening. And sort of looks at you, turns back, skitters a little to one branch, uses its tail to hop to another, and then looks back at you in a sort of, aren't you coming?
I'm going to make sure I securely put away that flower, just so it's in a pouch on me.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be on all fours on the branch, because branches are, gravity is a thing.
Oh yeah. It is definitely easier for this monkey to climb currently than it is for you to climb.
I mean, Tulsi doesn't even wear shoes, so like, at least we got toes action going on as well. So, so they're just going to try to slowly scoot down the branch and attempt to make it to the other branch.
All right. So, I think this is the first time we're gonna see a mechanic.
First roll.
First roll. First roll. We're only gonna do this once, just to sort of be like, this is how you do. So roll me a d20, please.
Okay.
For everyone else, while you are rolling, I will quickly explain how. So before you tell me that roll,
I'm not saying anything. Go ahead, continue.
So the way if you're unsure of how things how the outcome of what's going to happen, oh gosh, why am I saying everything backwards while I'm pulling so that I can sound a lot smarter than I am. Yeah, so you roll the die in quest to let fate decide what happens next. You roll a d20, don't add anything else to it, and then depending on that roll, you will succeed or fail in different bands. What did you get?
A strong 7.
Well, you did succeed.
Oh,
However,
okay.
You need to roll in general 6 and above. Actually, no, there's no DC or anything. That 6 and above is always a success, but it is varying degrees of success. For a 7, you have essentially rolled a tough choice. You succeed in your action, but there's a cost. I, the guide, will give you a choice between 2 setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, you either succeed, but this entire getting out of here takes you much longer than you expected, or you lose an item in basically getting scratched up and sort of moving tree to tree.
I think it's probably going to take me a lot longer.
Okay. So this little monkey friend that you found helps you navigate your way back to the outskirts of this jungle. And eventually you make your way out, but you realize by the time you reach the jungles and the outskirts, you have been in this forest for almost 36 hours.
That's a number. That's a big number. That's a long time. Oh. And I think as soon as they realize it, they're just booking it.
And
as fast as they can. Yeah.
As you book it, you start hearing wails. And you recognize the wails as funerary wails.
I think that's gonna stop. They're stopping her in the tracks.
And as you stop, you see all of your family members all gathered around your grandmother's hut, wailing. And you see on their hands whatever bangles they're wearing, they're broken as they're smashing it against something to show their grief.
I didn't make it. And I think Tulsi's just taking that in and just starting to feel that guilt overcome them. And they're just standing there, just keeping their distance for the time being, because they don't know exactly how to interact with that and be a part of what's going on just yet.
And on that note, if you're okay with it, we cut to present day.
Yeah.
Takhtabad is a mega city at the heart of this continent. It is a place where people from every single region, community has some sort of a trading connection or influence or there's a lot of politics and diplomacy, and it's sort of a not newish city as in like a couple of years. We're talking like compared to some of the other places, maybe about 150 years old. So it is somewhat newish, and it's organically been formed. It is also a huge trading port from all sorts of places. And there's several marketplaces, one of which is called Heera Bazaar, also known as the Diamond Market. However, it isn't just a place where you can find diamonds, like literal diamonds. It is a place where you can find, what's that saying? Rough gem...
Diamonds in the rough?
Diamonds in the rough, yes. Thank you. Of almost any kind. Be it artifacts, be it actual diamonds, be it nuggets of important information that could make regents and take down regents. And it is here that We now move to one particular part of the market where it is selling foods and there's fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, fresh fish, lake fish mostly, river fish mostly, and it is here that we see a general goods, although this one deals with more finer things in life. Actually, you know what? Nibir, what do you think this store sells?
I want to say that they sell dishware.
Okay. So, is it like earthenware, porcelain, like metal?
I want to say that a lot of it is going to be earthenware.
Okay. Are they glazed, unglazed? What sort of designs?
Glazed. I think that the style right now is a lot of bright, say summery colors to fit the season, and it is glazed, so it's not your sort of cheap, almost disposable kind of earthenware. This is sort of more of a higher up one, but not quite as expensive as porcelain.
I think your audio is a little low again.
Here, I'll crank that up.
Yeah. Okay, so some really nice glazed items. So, tell me what usually happens on a typical day at the market.
I think that it really depends. The people go through there in waves. So, for instance, all the folks who run restaurants and such will be there super, super early to try to get the best ingredients. And then later on is when people start moving and bringing out their other less perishable wares. And then I think as it goes on later into the market and places start winding down, that's when people come out and look for places to eat dinner at with friends and colleagues.
Okay. And Rahim, what's your time in Takhtabad been so far? It's been maybe a couple of weeks.
I think it's been frustrating as far as finding the diamond, finding his objective goes, but Rahim's been having a great time, potentially at several other people's expenses, since he's gotten here. He's gotten some other work going. He's making a mild nuisance of himself. He's generally figuring out how things work. And he's very much planning how he's going to get this thing back to its rightful owners, regardless of whether or not the current owner cooperates.
Okay. And Tulsi, you've been searching for some particular answers to some questions you have. You've been directed to this new healing center where there is a lot of talented healers that might be able to answer some of your questions. As you approach this healing center, you see... who can't hear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so as you enter, you see a woman with gloves. Actually, Jansali, what are you doing?
I think I am trying my best not to be exasperated at a particularly stubborn person who's come in for healing that I'm convinced doesn't actually have an illness. So I'm there with like my, like my wraps up to my elbow, obscuring my hands as well, and I'm going, "Sir, I don't know how to tell this to you. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you."
But
So, if you don't mind me inserting myself into the
yes,
scene,
of course, please go
the
ahead.
patient is Rahim. He absolutely knows he isn't sick. He's trying. He is here to observe a building next door, and this was the best excuse he had. So he's just giving you the hardest time. Look, ma'am, look, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you. It's an incredible burning pain all the way up my tail every day. It's there, I'm telling you. You have to treat me.
I see no rash. I see no signs of a fever. I see no blown pupils, no escalating pulse. I could write you a prescription for some anti-inflammatories, I suppose, or just stuff a handful of herbs in your mouth. That's the best I can do. There's nothing wrong with you.
Please, there's no one else. I've got to everyone in the city. Surely, blessed doctor, you can figure out what's happening here.
At this point, do I notice Tulsi? Have they entered yet?
Whenever Tulsi feels comfortable entering.
I think they do, but they're sort of in the doorway, just like sort of just staying quiet, watching this exchange, not wanting to interrupt. No things are happening.
I go, I'm gonna put a pin in this, and I pivot, and I face Tulsi, and I say, "Hello, welcome to the healing center. How may I help you? I'm sorry, let me restart. Do you have an illness?"
I don't have an illness, but I have some questions.
Questions? No illnesses, but questions. I don't know what people take me for. This is a healing center, not a answer your questions about medicinal practices for free center. Look, sir, and young person here, I don't like to waste my time. Ask your questions, make it snappy.
Okay. Oh shit. Let me just. And they're just like patting themselves down for their journal where they write everything down. So they're just taking a minute.
Very noticeably is just like the moment Jansali turns around, he is displaying no symptoms of whatever pain he's faking. He's just looking at out the window at his target, seeing what's going on over there.
Maybe Jansali's like occasionally like looking back, but like you're immediately like she never catches you.
Yep.
So that's when Nibir actually shows up. He actually shows up in front of that window that Rahim is looking out. And Nibir is carrying this gigantic crate filled with apothecary jars. And he's obviously lost. So he's sort of just standing there trying to balance this giant crate and pull up a piece of paper with the directions that he was handed. And then he just starts looking around, a kind of John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, like.
Completely blocking the view.
Completely blocking the view.
Rahim's just like quietly gesturing at him to try and get him out of the way.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Cool. Jansali is she's like up to here. It's been a stressful day. She just wants to go home. She's the only person on this shift for some reason, and she or something like that. She turns to Tulsi, is like still waiting for Tulsi to fish out their journal.
All the young healers have basically called in sick with the purple dot disease, which
Purple dot disease?
Which you are pretty sure is fake, but you're having a hard time calling them out on it.
Got it. So I kind of
Conspicuously,
left it here.
all the young healers. All the old ones, it's not their shift.
Like, a part of me is like, am I still getting hazed? What's going on here? So I like wait and I turn to Tulsi and I say, are you done looking around for whatever you're looking around for?
Oh, look, I found it. Okay, and it's like this big old journal that has like, you see pieces of paper just like shoved in it, and like you see various pieces of fabric just like shoved in there as well. It's like overflowing, the bind's almost breaking, and they're like, okay, hold on, and they open it up and they're like flipping through it, like, no, those are recipes, no, that's directions, oh, that's just a receipt. No, that's not what I need. Hold on.
You're dropping. It's.
Oh no, I'm sorry. And they're just like holding the book against their chest and just like trying to catch the papers and stuff as they're falling.
Jansali strides forward and, like, with immense irritation, but it's like bottled irritation, right? Starts like picking up the pieces of loose paper that Tulsi's dropping and handing them back to them.
Thank you. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh no, I got some mango juice on it. Anyways, I can still read it. One. Have you heard of this illness that there's fevers, some dizziness.
Yes, that tends to happen when you're sick.
But like it was new to our village, and it was the first time we saw something like it.
This does give Jansali pause. And she sort of like looks at Tulsi in a slightly new way and says, were there any unusual symptoms?
I mean, I don't know exactly what symptoms are unusual.
Do you mind? Can I look at that?
Yeah. Here. And they hand you the book. Their handwriting is atrocious. And it has like food remnants, like spills of like tea and like smudges.
Jansali picks up like the corner of it and like lifts it up and like stares at it. Dearest guide, is there anything based on the description written here that I can like try to parse out, like a kind of illness?
Yes, you may have one of your abilities
Yes.
that could do that. If there's an ability that can do that, then yes, you can definitely parse stuff out.
So as the doctor, I chose the ability Diagnose, which is under the examination skill tree, I suppose, ability tree. It technically is only allowed, it says you touch a creature, and then you can try to like sense what the illness is. I'm not sure if it extends to like a written description of it. But basically, it's like a guessing game.
Yeah. So you could ask Tulsi if they have it or not, and then in which case, if with consent, you could then diagnose that way.
Oh boy. Okay. Jansali just pauses and says, "Is there any chance it's been transmitted to you?"
Oh, I hope not. I mean, I don't feel warm.
Do you mind if I...
Yeah.
Jansali just sort of lifts a hand. Okay. And she carefully puts the back of her hand against Tulsi's forehead and will attempt to use her cool diagnose ability.
Alright, so the way this works is that it is a guessing game, kind of like Wheel of Fortune style, just a little. So the way the game works for a lot of these abilities is you have adventure points, which is a, I guess, action economy sort of currency. And I believe you. I think you don't spend it the first time. You get to do it, and then if you guess wrong, you have to spend one adventure point to try again. So I believe.
How much AP are we starting out with again?
You will all be starting out with 10.
Cool. Okay.
And the way adventure points get, you get adventure points back when you do cool stuff or you finish an arc and you're awarded some, which we will do not necessarily every stream because you would get a lot of adventure points that way. So yeah. You must go and... If your guess is wrong, the guide will give you blanks to fill in that show how many words are in the name and how many letters are in each. And you start guessing... Okay, so you roll the die, and based on the roll, I will give you letters.
Sounds good. Do you start by giving me blanks first and then I roll, or do I roll and then? So I know how many like letters are in each word and stuff.
Good question. You know what? We'll come back to that. Let's put a pin on the diagnose. Okay. Because...
Sounds good.
There's a couple of things I need to ask.
Sure.
So in the meanwhile, while I am secret squirreling a little bit, Rahim, you have this, you have Nibir, or you don't know each other yet. You see a delivery person standing right in front of you, blocking you from your perfect vantage, absolutely confused.
I think I gestured at him a couple times. He doesn't move. I lean over. Excuse me, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I have this delivery for, sorry, what's the clinic's name again?
I honestly have no idea, but I can take it if you'd like.
Okay, where's the entrance? I'll just bring it around.
I just kind of give him a short set of directions to the entrance. Around the corner, to the right, first door there. There's someone in the entrance. You may have to wait a moment or two, but you can get out of the window at least.
Oh yeah, sure. And he'll just have the crate and walk around to the entrance. And is the door open for this clinic?
I think so. Tulsi was still in the door, right? Or Tulsi and Jansali were talking in the door. So you probably run into them while Rahim has pretty much openly forgotten about pretending to be sick while he watches his vantage point.
Well, I'm not sure if you're sick or... Can I help you?
Oh.
Yes, I have a delivery.
Oh, not me. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me back away. And Tulsi takes a couple steps, into the clinic, out of the doorway. Just.
Oh, don't forget this.
Oh,
Jansali hands the mango stained note back. A delivery for this clinic?
Yes. Earthenware.
Oh, huh. Let me see. I'm the only one on shift today. Jansali steps forward to inspect the delivery.
It is everything is as it should be. There is a delivery of apothecary jars and vials after curing septuplets last week that were toddlers. And let's just say that, were you there for when that happened?
The curing of the sextuplets?
Yeah, the septuplets. 7 of them.
Is it possible that Jansali did the curing?
Yeah, we can
Or
totally
is
go
it
with that.
someone else?
No, it could. I was just
Cool,
asking
okay.
if you were involved in that and you remember that scene.
Yes, she does. She looks at the name of the deliverer and just sort of, yes, there were so many of them. And she sort of like flips it down and looks at this delivery boy. Right? She says, "Thank you. Do I need a sign for this?"
No, but I was given strict instructions that all deliveries have to happen in the building, so I am obligated to bring this into the clinic itself.
Oh, okay. Jansali has no reason to suspect this for any reason. She says, "Well, come on in. There's a table back there. You should be able to set these goods down on."
Oh, okay. I mean, it's a pretty tall crate, so he'll just lift it and bring it inside. He'll look around for a moment, and then he'll spot that a fairly empty space in front of the window that Rahim was peering out of, and he will set it down right there. And produce the receipt. Like, if you wouldn't mind signing this waiver, please.
Waiver?
Oh, it's just a waiver of responsibility. That now that I've delivered this, I'm no longer obligated to.
Oh. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Jansali takes the waiver, takes out a quill or a pen of some sort, and signs in big loopy letters. Bang. And then hands it back to Nibir.
Excellent, thank you. And he'll check the time, and he'll say, "Oh, it's tea time. You don't mind if I just have my drink here, do you?"
In the clinic where I work? And there are diseases flying around the air? Jansali just sighs and says, You know what, universe? Maybe this is a sign. Go for it, delivery boy. Drink your tea in front of me. You, lizard man, just sit there and complain. And you, this person who's littered mango droplets all over my floor, just go for it. I have no care at all.
Actually, the
Ruin
window's
my
been
life.
blocked, so I apologize for wasting your time, but I am going to just go outside to where I have a better view now. Thank you. You, young person, don't look like you're from around here with the book. I'm not a doctor, but I am an investigator. If your mysterious illness needs checking out, I am always taking clients. And once again, Jansali, you were a pleasure to work with, very professional. I apologize for wasting your time. I will be on my way, though.
I'll invoice you.
So I am ready for your diagnose now.
Yes.
But then something happens before all of you split like cats. So let us quickly go back to the diagnose thingy.
So excited.
And it is 2 words, 6 letters and 5 letters.
Okay. I'm like writing it down in my notebook. Okay.
Roll them die. Just 1 die.
Oh boy, here we go.
Just 1. There's only 1 in this
It's a
game.
nat 20. I kid you not. I seriously kid you not. It's a nat
Okay.
20.
Alright. So, I will say, blank R
Mm-hmm.
blank blank E blank. So that's 6 letters, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then H
Mm-hmm.
blank
Mm-hmm.
A
Mhm.
blank T.
Sorry, was that A or E?
A. A for apple.
Okay. Cool. So H blank A blank T.
Yeah, and how many letters have I revealed out of the total? It should be 11, and I think if I'm giving you half, then that should be 5 or 6?
Yeah, you've revealed 5.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
So you may
Boy.
begin a guess.
Oh gosh. Blank R blank blank E blank H blank A blank T. I'm so bad at Jeopardy or whatever the Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune!
Okay. I have to correctly guess the entire name. I may start by guessing letters that appear in that name. If I
Yeah.
guess incorrectly 6 times, the spell fails. Oh my goodness. Okay, the pressure is on. Does anyone have suggestions? Does it have to be on me? Can we like pull her
Have you
mind power?
tried an E?
Am I allowed to guess letters that have been revealed?
If you guess a letter correctly, the guide will reveal everywhere the letters that appear in the name. So I guess, yes, you just guess letters. You can guess up to 6 before it fails.
Oh, so it's like Hangman almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's a good idea. I'm gonna guess an E.
Okay.
Show me an E.
Alright, so there's an E on the second last letter of the first word,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an E on the second letter of the second word.
So H-E-A blank T. Headed. Hend. Hient. Oh my gosh. H-E-A blank T? What could that be?
R?
R? Oh my god, you're so right. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this. Is the second word heart? Or slash R. I guess R.
Okay, so you're doing R?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, complete the second word. And add
Okay.
an R on the second letter of the first word.
Second letter of the first. Okay. Something heart. Oh boy.
So now you've got 2 out of 6. This is fun,
Okay.
y'all!
this is high stakes, man. Can I guess? I don't know what the first one could be. Ored. E.
What
The
do you-
first letter of the first. I have blank R blank blank E blank. So I'm thinking that the first letter has to be a vowel of some kind, right? Unless it's like dree or a tree. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Show me an A.
That is wrong. So 3.
Dang. Okay, that's one wrong.
So I
Okay.
believe.
Is it 6 guesses or 6 incorrect guesses?
I'm gonna. This is one of those things where, hey, new system for everyone involved.
Mhm.
So if I can't figure out how to do it, I'm just gonna make a call and we're just gonna go from there. Okay. If you guess a letter correctly, reveal. If you guess incorrectly 6 times, the spell fails. So, I think it's 6 incorrectly. So that's
That's
actually
what it
one of.
sounds like, yeah.
So 1
Okay.
out of
Yeah.
6 wrong. And you must correctly guess the entire name. So it's either you guess 6 vowels wrong, or you guess 6 letters wrong, or you guess the whole thing wrong. And you'll have to spend an AP to try again.
Mhm.
Wow, this
So I
took...
just. This is taking a while. I just guessed A, right? I have
Yes.
really bad short-term memory. Okay, cool. So A was incorrect. I'm gonna go for
Wait, no.
B. Show me a B.
A
Wait.
you've already guessed.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Then what did I just guess that was wrong?
No, you guessed. So you guessed E,
E
And
then
R?
Mhm.
and then the
A
last one was
in-
A, and it was incorrect.
Yeah, but
Cool.
A is already in the... It was
That's true.
already...
Yeah.
Yeah. So try like a
It was.
B, a D. I'm not sure if there's.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a B.
B for what? Like, just so that, because I can't tell the difference between B and D. So, like...
Oh, B for boy.
Okay. That is the first letter.
Yes. B-R blank blank E blank. Bryned? Branned? Brained?
Okay,
I feel like Jansali is much better at this than I am.
Okay, so let's do one thing. While you're pondering on that, something does happen simultaneously. We'll come back to this in a bit. So while all of this is happening, you hear outside, like, basically the equivalent of, like, a town crier or, like, you know, a sandwich board person being like, you know, going, all... Nilami at 4 o'clock. Nilami at 4 o'clock. Come get all these cool. See what you can get for the low price. Highest bidder wins. And Rahim, that really catches your ears. Sorry, because the name that is said is of a collector known for collecting rare artifacts and stuff like that. Nibir, you too sort of it catches your attention just a little bit as your friend and mentor who helped you set up shop here is always looking for new artifacts to purchase and trade and sell. Tulsi might be of interest to you too. You're not sure who that person is, but hey, cheap goods. Cool artifacts. And Jansali, it might be of interest to you too.
Sure. I think I know what it is, and I feel really foolish for not realizing this earlier.
All right.
I've been staring at it, and I think I want to guess.
All right, make your guess.
Is it broken heart? Is it a broken heart?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Which means once you have diagnosed an affliction, you can automatically identify it in the future by touching a creature.
That's pretty nice.
And is this like beyond like normal heartbreak, like regular grief, and it's like an actual like illness?
Yeah,
it's
grief that is so strong that it is actually physically damaged.
Okay, good to know. Cool.
However, it is nothing like the what is given in the journal. That must be something else that you would need to diagnose on your own.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. I think Jansali finally lifts her hand from Tulsi, let's say, as this hawker is passing nearby, and Jansali just sort of like does a double take and looks at Tulsi.
I think they're just gonna like look at them, just like, hi, because that hand was on there a long time.
Yeah. She was like touching Tulsi and like scolding the boys. Yeah, she just lowers her hand and goes, huh.
I think Rahim kind of steps forward to make excuses. Well, I'm very sorry for wasting your time. Tell you what, I'll make it up to you. I figure you and your new friend have had a trying day, evidently, judging by what I've done and the mess that they're dealing with. How about I get you something at this new auction, which is absolutely not a cover for anything else I'm planning.
You literally said that out loud.
Oh, yes. It'll be fun. You'll get a free thing. How about it? Well, possibly, depending on the fitting.
Are you addressing Jansali or Tulsi?
Yeah, I'm talking to Jansali because that's who we actively wronged here. Tulsi, because you're nearby. And why not rope more people into this? I solve problems and
Jansali-
cause problems, and not necessarily in any given order.
Jansali says, "You know what? My horoscope says I need to be more adventurous. Screw it. Let's go for it. They're gonna leave me here with purple dot disease. Well, I'm gonna leave them with they're gonna get fired disease. Okay, yeah, I'll skip out on my shift early. Yeah, let's go."
Excellent. And I will lead the way, I suppose, barring
So, question.
anything else unexpected.
Because this is a common trope in movies. Do you lock up after you leave?
Do I lock up the clinic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jansali's feeling a little impulsive today, but she's not outright foolish yet. So she will lock up.
Wonderful.
So here's the thing. Nibir has been really, really quiet and sort of just sitting off to the corner, having used his self-heating kettle to prepare his afternoon tea. So can we say that she locked him inside the clinic?
You know what? Sure, if everyone's okay with that.
That's
It's only for a little. It's only for a little while. So even though she locks everything up, Nibir has to get out. So he'll just casually unlock everything and head out without locking up behind himself.
Wait, I love that. That's so funny. Yeah, I love that. I think Jansali's like, all right, and pauses. And I think while she's like fiddling with the door, you know, she looks at Tulsi, and I think like a part of her is doing this because like you know, like to these strangers, she's like, whatever. I'll just like, what the heck? You only live once. But to Tulsi, she's like a little curious about this illness that they have, and she wants to keep an eye on them. She like wants to know more. She's like intrigued. So maybe she's like a little distracted. She like does like a sweep of the room, goes, "Yep, all right, no one's left behind. There's no one here. Okay, cool." And she just closes and click, locks the door.
I think Tulsi's still like gathering her stuff because like they have the book and it's overflowing. Excuse me. And so they're just like trying to collect all the papers and whatnots in the book as they're being shuffled out the door. So they're like arms are like awkwardly full with their things and just like, okay, yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to a what is it, an auction? What's going on?
You know that Rahim specifically, you know that a nilami is a very special type of an auction. It is when someone either dies without leaving an heir, or someone is so in debt that essentially they liquidate all their owned assets. So it's essentially a, you know, liquidation of assets, which means everything sells for like pennies or less. Well, money's not a thing in this world, or rather, money's not a thing in the system specifically. So, but yeah, it's a hey, this house or this place has a bunch of things that we don't know what to do with. We're just gonna sell it to whoever wants it, and then we'll take over. We'll do something with it. Usually, someone just is like, okay, I'll just take it, sell off whatever there is, and then pocket the cash. So yeah, it's a very special type of an auction. Usually at the person's expense. Yeah, so with that knowledge, you may continue giving that info.
Yeah, I'll just explain it. Yeah, so it's a fire sale, you know, something unpleasant of some manner has happened to someone, and so a lot of stuff's being liquidated on the cheap, and we're going to buy it.
Some poor sucker's life is bleeding out, and we're lapping up the blood.
Or, you know, maybe they were just in a bunch of debt and decided to get out of it. Stuff happens.
Two perspectives.
I think Tulsi's just
coming?
like looking between them, just like, I know what. Okay, all right, cool.
And Nibir, are you following behind?
Not right away. So Nibir doesn't always makes time for tea. So he will actually finish his pot of tea before packing up and heading out through the front door of the clinic after unlocking the door. And seeing as that there weren't a lot of people in the village, he's not really concerned about the whole idea of locking doors quite yet. So he's just going to close it behind him. But, you know, the people can probably guess that it's open still.
Or it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you close the door, but then a gust of wind just opens it a little crack.
Sure, yeah. It's got a stiff hinge, so it doesn't close all the way because he didn't use a lot of force to close it behind him.
Yeah, and it's just now just swinging just a little bit.
Oh god, Jansali's gonna get fired. Oh my god. Okay.
And you see a little toddler playing with the ball, just sort of like, ooh, what's this? And starts wandering in as we cut to... as we now cut to all of you sort of heading towards this nilami that is happening. As you make your way, is there any other conversation you would like to have en route?
Oh, since I'm new to town, I'm Tulsi. Hi, nice to meet y'all.
Jansali.
Jansali. Nice to meet you.
Salim!
Pleasure.
What?
Salim, my name's Salim. Pleasure to meet you. Where are you from?
Salim. Oh, it's a small village, like out in the jungles of Heera. Heera. Oh, here.
Hridaya?
Yeah, Heera.
Oh, that's very nice. What brings you out to the big city? Oh, well, I guess we know what brings you out to the big city. Very unfortunate that. I hope that works out between the medical stuff. Not my area of expertise.
Clearly.
Rahim's just showing no shame about the last 2 or so hours of tormenting Jansali. However long that took. What else are you trying to get done here, or is it just you're hoping that someone here knows what's up with this mysterious disease?
Well, that and just like I've never left my village before, so I'm young. I don't have any responsibilities. I have 5 other siblings, so I'm here just traveling and learning and just want to see what's out there.
It's a decision.
You should be careful. There are a lot of swindlers in this town.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You
I
were...
was very worried for a moment.
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button.
It's okay. You were actually you were actually, I think, the last person in frame, so nobody's cameras got changed.
Okay.
It's all good.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, it looks fine.
All right.
I just clicked over and it is the button apparently for the
Just turn your camera off.
Camera. Yeah.
Okay.
It's right there.
Mm-hmm. I think Jansali sort of looks at this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Tulsi, like clutching at their notes, and glances over at quote-unquote Salim. Right? Is that the fake name you're giving?
Yep. He gave you a different fake name when he came into the clinic.
Oh, really?
Which one?
I haven't picked one yet. But we're gonna go with
Jansali
Mother.
says,
With what?
Mother.
Qadar. Okay.
Gudder, okay. It says, be careful, Tulsi and Takhtabad. There are a lot of swindlers. Looks at Rahim.
Hey, I paid for the visit.
Did he?
I have no idea. Probably.
I'm gonna say
He is
Okay.
a jerk rather than a criminal, so he probably paid for the visit. He was just drawing it
Okay.
out as long as possible.
I'm gonna say universal healthcare is kind of a thing in terms of it is not expensive. It is not terribly expensive to pay for medical care.
Mm-hmm. It's more so the principle of the matter that's getting to Jansali. So what brings you to Takhtabad?
Oh, me?
Salim.
Oh,
She uses the air quotes.
Oh, you know, investigation here, investigation there, chasing down some stolen property. It's nothing in particular. But I don't think
You
you're
did
from around
mention-
here.
You did mention you were a private investigator, and I am a recent transplant.
Ah. Fun. Trying to get your training finished in the big city?
Training. As if those fools could teach me anything. Yeah, something like that.
All
A little bit of
right.
this, a little bit of that.
Fun. And I take it there aren't a lot of, if you don't mind me taking a wild guess, your previous teacher, before you came here, was not appreciative of your raw talent at your chosen field, and this really felt like the best way to advance your career.
I thought you were a private investigator, not a therapist.
I'm a private investigator. I'm taking a wild guess and investigating.
You know what? I'll entertain you. Why not? No, my talents were underappreciated and underutilized where I came from. I figured that a city like Takhtabad would be more innovative, more forward-thinking. But apparently I am mistaken.
Oh, you just have to figure out what they're forward thinking on. You know, laundering stolen gems, skipping out of work, selling diamonds. Very innovative there.
So I'm assuming that's why you're here, tracking down a laundered gem.
Who can say? But yes.
Well, I'm bored, and I figure I might as well check out the hubbub at the Nilami. Speaking of which,
And has Nibir caught up, or are you kind of sauntering your way behind?
Nibir is pretty much sauntering behind them, kind of only half listening to their discussions. He is looking around. He's still kind of in awe of how large and heavily populated this place is. But
Yeah.
he's also being careful.
So you weave your way following the distant sound of said sandwich board person screaming out about the nilami that is happening and kind of being a little Pied Piper, having a couple of people kind of following behind. And you weave your way through Heera Bazaar to the outskirts of it, which is close to where a lot of the well-to-do citizens would stay. And you come across this massive, kind of, not old money, it's always been there, kind of almost like a new money sort of Haveli, which is like a big mansion, just estate. There's gates that surround it, but it is right now wide open, and there is the manicured lawns are filled with random tables filled with wares, and a couple of people who look like they're cataloging it and taking down people and assign literally with charcoal and a scrap piece of cloth, putting down a number and sticking it on each person, coming in, showing interest. And as you enter, what do you all do? You see that there are these people who are essentially assigning numbers for the purposes of knowing who bid, who is going to bid for these wares.
I need to know, does Rahim get number 69?
Sure.
Nice.
It's not something
That's
he'd
my-
be aiming
that's my
for,
assumption.
but I figure that's
Cool.
roughly the sort of luck he has in terms of.
Yep, it's
That
696.
Cool. Is there like are there goods or merchandise already being displayed, or are they sort of like being kept behind?
They are
a stage
some
or
of
something?
something that is big enough is kind of on a table of its own. It seems to be that all of these goods are kind of sorted by tables. So essentially, a table is like, okay, here's this crate of random knickknacks of things versus maybe one gigantic statue versus maybe something that looks a little more unique, as small as it may be, might be displayed on its own. So each table is each lot, essentially. And there is about 25 of them.
What's the general vibe of the merchandise being vended? Like, can we tell this was like a rich person's estate getting like sold out, or was it like?
Yeah, it's definitely like the household that it is in. Definitely, it seems like it's not very clear yet why this is happening. You may want to investigate it further. And it's right now just general chaos and mayhem. There's still like maybe half hour, 1 hour before enough time to kind of wander around and get some information. If anyone would like to do that. You just right off the bat, you know that there are people that you could speak to who could give you information. You can investigate the tables in a sort of general investigation within the time to see what sort of items might appeal to you. And yeah, so... And if you would like to grab a number, I know Rahim has already grabbed a number.
All right. So Rahim is 100% trying to track down where the specific jewel he's looking for is in this, and if it's actually here.
Okay, so then if you have an ability that allows you to maybe fine-tune your investigation, you can use that. Otherwise, just roll a d20 and we'll see where that takes you.
8.
8. Okay. So you checked your abilities and there's no specific thing that gives you...
There's nothing there that... Oh, I've actually got a dossier that I could use to copy the catalog if they have a written one. It lets me copy any paper or any writing that I press it against, or drawing.
Yeah, you get to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So you definitely have a catalog. I can, with that 8, I can tell you with your, if it requires adventure points, please spend them to have that dossier.
It does not require adventure points.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, you easily find where, you know how these things work. You find the dossier, you make a copy of all the things, and with your 8, you narrow down. There's definitely no obvious place where this diamond could be. However, you think if it's gotten this far, it's probably hidden in something. But where? You only have one place you can bid on. You only have enough resources to bid on one item. And you think you might be able to bid it and get it. So I will give you 2 options, because this is again a tough choice. You can either bid on a bunch of statues, like a collection of statues that are basically in various dancing poses, or you can bid on a crate of small boxes that you can't open until you have secured it. And hang on to that choice. Well,
Okay. I will, but I'm also going to use my disguise ability while we're waiting around. I spend 1 AP, and I have a convincing disguise to disguise as, say, a high-end buyer in case I need to commit some quick fraud to get this thing.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna have that in my back pocket, as it were.
All right. Nibir, I believe you have eventually reached your destination. What would you like to do?
So Nibir will wander in, and he'll wander by the person who's assigning numbers, but he wasn't actually looking to get a number. He was sort of just standing right there, and probably would have just gotten assigned a number because they were trying to move him along. As he is a fairly large, imposing figure and carries a stout staff with him, he tends to people tend to leave space around him, not because he is clumsy or anything, but he's just got that kind of presence.
You get 712 smack. And very gently moved along down the table.
Fair enough.
Is there any particular thing you would like to do while in the sort of time before the nilami actually begins?
Sure. So he's going to look for anything that would be of interest to a trader, merchant, or perhaps something having to do with preparation and serving tea.
Yeah. There's, from what you can see as you wander around, there are a couple of what looks to be really nice sets of like dinnerware, servingware, stuff like that. That's all in one table, one lot. There is one thing that catches your attention. Is on a table, there's just a single box with the lid open and a small little shallow bowl sitting on it.
Is he allowed to touch the items, or can he only just look?
He
He's
can
gonna glance around and see that.
Yeah, you can it's sort of you can get close to the table and approach it, but you see most people don't actually touch things. As it's sort of like some things might be too delicate, or some things like we don't want people having sticky fingers.
That's fair.
And it says something on the lines of diagnostic bowl. A useful tool for distinguishing between friends and foes.
That's interesting. He'll note it for later and move along.
And Jansali, you also pick up on that as well.
Cool.
Tulsi, is there anything you'd Are you interested in grabbing a number or doing anything at this auction?
I think they grab a number just because that's what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
But they are very overwhelmed and unsure exactly what to do. So they're kind of just like sort of standing in the way, just like ogling everything. And just like eventually, once someone I guess nudges them from behind, we'll start like going with the flow of traffic, and just like be like, "What's this? What's this? What's this?"
Okay. And Jansali, is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, Jansali just sort of like primly takes a number, like that meme of the flight attendant, like the thank you, and she is going to look for the odds and ends, the really bizarre things, like if there's any like I don't know, like scorpion's blood, or like dried, salamander, or like anything that could potentially be like a folk or herbal remedy, but definitely on like the more unconventional end of things. She's looking specifically for new ingredients for her latest concoction, let's say.
Yeah, there is a couple of things that grab your interest, but we will actually deal with the auction on our next episode.
When is the
Alright.
next episode?
The
Just so
next-
our viewers know.
Yes, we are actually alternating moving forward with Game Roulette, our one-shot series, at least for 2 months. Depending on how things go, Game Roulette might move to a different time slot, or it may stay in the same time slot, but we are every alternate week. Our next game will be in 2 weeks on July 22nd. And next week will be Game Roulette with a hack of lasers and feelings, cats and criminals, which will be GM'd by our very own Lauren, also aka Sith Witch. But before we get into all those extra details, let's go around the table one more time and our players just shout out where we can find you on the interwebs. We will start with our lizard investigator, Rahim or Salim or Qadr. I don't know.
Hey, I'm Basheer Gauss. You can find me at Basheer Gauss on Twitter or at havocfet.itch.io.
Awesome. And our exasperated, possibly fired doctor, Jansali.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter at @byConnieChong and on Tumblr at DandDaddyIssues.
Awesome. And our tea aficionado, Nibir.
Hi, my name again is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Shoot me a follow. I will update people with my schedule and other streams that I appear on.
And last but not least, our sweet mango friend, Tulsi.
Hello, I'm Morgan. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serena Bezos. I do podcast work with Powered by the Players. Be my friend.
And I am your guide, and as my Zoom title, which nobody except the players can see, I am the Lords of Chaos. I am Mariam, and you can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. You can also find me here doing stuff on Huetopia, as well as Prism Pals, as well as the Musafirs. Oh boy, I'm doing a lot of things. But yes. But you can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. And thank you so much for tuning in for our first episode, and thank you everyone who followed us, hosted us, all these things. And tomorrow, very quickly, same at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Anyways, 7:30. We are going to have a ballot episode, but it's going to be a panel with a bunch of lovely people. You can check our schedule on this channel as well as Twitter and all of that stuff. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to have our first game roulette, which is our one-shot series with For the Honor, with B GMing and wonderful, wonderful players. And yeah, the panel there. Jess, Burst of Hope, amazing. You know, did an amazing job tonight in chat and modding and everything. Thank you so much. And I'm going to see if we can raid someone at this hour.
Who's around?
Who's awake? I mean, it's not that late, if you think about it. Ooh, pleasantly... Ooh, actually... Kupo's up. Yes, let's give
Let's
Kupo...
go raid Kupo.
Yeah, let's go give Kupo some love. Alright. No, I'm still typing in the raid.
Okay. I'll just dance for the
Yeah.
while we're figuring this out.
Yay! Okay, everybody give Kupo some love, and we will all see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. See you in 2 weeks for
Thank you.
some of us.
Yeah.